Hello everyone, this is Joanne. I've been promising that I'm going to show you these little mini junk journals that I make out of flashcard boxes or any little box that you get. And I'm just going to show you. So I just got these flashcards. I took out the flashcards. I got them today from Dollar Tree. And so I'm going to show you how I cut the box. So all of these cards or little boxes usually have one seam that you know is kind of open, and then the other side it has no seam. So I'm going to cut the side with the seam and get that one. Okay, and open that. All right, and I'm going to lift up this flap. Some of them have this little flap here, and that's going to be a little bit of a rough edge, which isn't ideal, but it's okay if I do it carefully enough. All right, and then what I do is cut off, you can see where the lines are, the edge, cut the edge, this edge. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, it's a junk journal. We can cover up mistakes. Like this is a little rough right here, so I'm going to cover that. Probably I will cover this with scrapbook paper or fabric anyway, so it's okay if it's a little rough. I mean, you don't want big tears, but even that can be fixed. So, you know, don't worry too much if you do make mistakes. I just bend these a little bit so I can see that line, that seam there, and cut right along the seam if you can. And again, it might not be super straight always, but that's okay. All right. And here, this one. Okay, now I leave that middle flap on the top and the bottom. I'll bend this out to straighten it out a little bit, and I'm going to glue those down with my Tombow Mono Aqua glue. It doesn't matter what glue you have, and you could use some adhesive, although when I use tape runners on these, I feel like they come apart too easy. So if I'm using a tape runner, I will also use glue. And then just to hold that down, I use a clip of some kind, or you can use a paper clip, whatever you have on hand. I have these little decorative clips, so that's that. So I would let that dry for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. I have one that I already did, where I glued the flaps earlier. And I'm going to cover this. This is adorable. This would be cute just to leave if you wanted it to be a really junky junk journal and not cover it, you know, to look fancy. This would be super cute. Especially if we were doing a little one, maybe I would just do another decorative paper on the back, and that would be super cute. On the inside, I think I will leave the inside plain, but I will cover the back, the front, I should say, the front and the back. All right. So I have this paper. It's from a travel kit that I got off Facebook Marketplace. And I just thought it was kind of nice and kind of plain, because I just want this as kind of a background on my cover in the back of this little journal. And then I will put some sort of an image over it afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around this. Now this is red. This is double-sided on the back. Well, let's do it on the back anyway. I was going to say it might be hard to see what I'm doing. I'm going to line it up along one edge and just so I don't have to cut that edge as carefully. And I'm going to trace it with my pencil just so I get a good rectangle here for covering the journal. So, okay, and it's okay that I got a little bit down here. Okay, so I'm just tracing around it so that I have that, and I will cut this. And again, it doesn't have to be real specific, because I usually add like some sort of a embellishment on the edge. Not always though, but you can. If you make mistakes, I'm just going to cut all the way across, a little bit easier then. Okay, and you can always cover up the edges if they end up being not quite so straight, or you're just not real pleased with it. Okay, and just cutting along the pencil line. Sometimes you should cut a little bit inside the pencil line. So let's see here. When I go to cover this, yeah, I feel like that's a little, is that a little rough? Okay. Okay, or a little bit. Okay, let me cut along there a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because I can fix this. So, all right, I'm gonna put my offcuts off to the side. I will use them later. And yeah. All right, so this we will adhere onto the cover. Now, I wanted to be real specific. I probably should, I should indent those with my cutter thing. Let me do that. That might be nice. Okay, it's gonna be a little easier if I make a line here where this is bent, make another line. Okay, I don't usually do this necessarily. Kind of a non-measurer, and I'm kind of just doing things on the fly. But since I'm doing a bit of a tutorial here, I probably should do a decent job, right? What do you think? All right, there's my cutter, but I'm going to use the, what do you call it? Like the crimper? I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm just going to do that. It's a little crimper just to, you probably can't see this, but I'm just crimping those edges a little bit so they're going to be easier for me to bend. And it's going to be a nicer, it's going to be a lot nicer bend if I have that. So this is light paper, so again, you're not going to see that too well, but just going to bend along there. And I probably should erase those pencil lines. Okay. Well, I didn't crimp that side very good. I'll just bend it here a little bit. Sometimes my crimper, or whatever the technical term for that thing is called, doesn't always do a good job. And I don't like to run over it too many times or it'll actually tear the paper. I have learned that one, so. All right, so, okay, so we'll see if that works. All right, so we're gonna put this over and it might not be exactly, okay, well, you know, I'm going to add some little things on the edges of this when after I'm done, or I can always cut a little bit of that edge that's showing from the card case. Let me see if I did this right. Okay. Oh boy. All right, not too bad, but could be better. Trying to see which side. You know, it would be good to label these. Do as I say, not as I do. All right, so I'm going to smear some glue around here. All right, and I'm gonna smooth this out a little bit. And you know, you can do this with fabric as well, and that comes out really pretty. I will try to show you a couple of these mini journals that I have made before, and it turns out really cute with fabric. And fabric, you know, bends a little easier around those corners and stuff, of course, so sometimes that ends up being a good choice instead of scrapbook paper. But you know, I like this scrapbook paper, so I wanted to use it. So I didn't have any fabric I really wanted to use. I'm gonna take an old, like, get these in the mail. They're just like a, you know, these, I don't know, this came with like a pack of batteries or something, it looks like. I'm just gonna smooth that a little bit, smooth that glue around. You can do that with your finger too, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling that today, getting all mucky with this, but some days I am. It's not a play in the mud kind of day, I guess. So I'm just gonna smooth it a little bit with this card. So, and then I toss the card. You could save it and use it on another painting project or something, but it just kind of smears that a little better. And I'm gonna toss that in my garbage behind here. So, not that you care, I'm just explaining what I'm doing. So, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna adhere that. I'm gonna turn this over and see if I actually did that. And you know, that didn't turn out half bad. Sometimes you never know. You never ever know. Got a tissue here for sopping up my glue mess. All right. And sometimes I also cover this inside. But you know what? I kind of like it natural right now. And I think what I'll do later, after I get the rest of the journal put together, I may add some decorative pockets or a little piece of paper or something. I just don't feel like covering it right now. which may or may not be a good idea, but I'm just gonna smooth that. Now, I do have a bone folder, but I have a couple of them, and I don't know, I forget to use them. Just end up using my hands, and yeah, so I would let that dry pretty good for a while. And while you're letting that dry, pick out the little papers that you want to put inside this junk journal. Now, you could fit 2 little signatures in here because this might be wide enough, but it's also pretty thin. So I'm not going to put 2 signatures in here. I'm just going to put 1 in the middle. Now, ahead of time, I chose some papers that this is a offcut of some scrapbook paper, and I want to make this into a travel journal. I probably should have said that at the beginning. I forgot. But I had this brochure that had all these little travel images in it, and I thought those would be cute for a little travel journal. And I will cover some of the parts that I don't like, some of the advertisements or things, and this is just a little paper from a paper pad, a mini paper pad, some scrapbook paper, the mini paper, another little image from that travel brochure, and it has like an itinerary on the other side. This is a little teaching supply pack that I got at Dollar Tree today, which has a little passport image. You'll see the other image on the other side. This is like a piece of vellum. Another one of those little images from the travel brochure, and I'll cover this other side as we're crafting. And this is a little bit of a wallpaper. Okay, and love this image. That's in Rome, I think. And then this was the brochure, and this is going to be the middle of my signature, and I will cover these with other papers and ephemera. So this is going to get fatter, and that's also why I want to limit the signatures that I put in, is I want to have room for the extra parts that I add. So, all right, so we're going to just showing you the other side of those. Okay, and I think I had about, gosh, 10 or 12. I forget what it was, maybe 12 of these papers. And I'm going to start making the signature. So don't be afraid to do this. When I first started junk journaling, I was so afraid to make signatures. I was like freaked out, and I had to just do journals, junk journals that were unbound or bound in different ways that were super easy because I was afraid to sew signatures in. Now this is just a little, it was like a dried fruit package we got at Christmas or something, and I just put book binding on it. And this is my little binding kit. I have an awl and some of the little threads I like to use. This is a wax thread, and you can buy these binding kits really cheap on Amazon. And so I just keep this together, and I have a couple clips for holding my mini signatures together, and a couple bigger clips for holding my larger signatures for my other journals. I'm going to use this needle, I think. All right, so set that off to the side. And okay, and I'm going to clip this. All right, I'm making sure that it's right side up. All right, just put one clip there and one clip here. All right, now I don't measure. I'm just not a measurer too much, but I will I'm just going to stab it. All right, now I'm also making sure that this looks decent the way it is. It seems like it's pretty dry. All right, and if it's not totally dry, it's okay too. I'm just trying to put this in the middle of this box here, so it's not gonna be perfect. Nothing is perfect. Okay, release perfection. Oh, and you know what? I need to put that, instead of just on the papers, I need to put it onto the box as well. All right, okay. Just trying to get that somewhat in the middle. You know, it's okay. And these are little journals. They kind of hide the imperfections somehow better. I don't know. Maybe that's a lie. I feel like they do, but all right. Okay. So I am just going to go, okay, so I'm going to go in the middle, because then I kind of know from there where to go with the rest of them. All right. Kind of guesstimating the middle and trying not to, okay, we'll see how this goes. Ah, that was terrible. Okay, sorry. I'm going to, okay. I'm going to pull that down a little bit. All right. Try to get in the middle. This is why sometimes I cover my spines with something else. So, and I have glue all over me. Okay, I should like change my channel name to like the Messy Crafter or something like that. Yeah, okay, all right. I feel like this is maybe gonna come in the middle. I feel like this is not. Okay, I'm gonna flatten this out more. I'm struggling here. Help me. All right. Too bad you're all not here because, okay, I'm just gonna start over with this a little bit. This is where if I was a better editor, I would just delete this section and you'd be like, wow, look how easy that is. But you know what? It's part of the fun. Why not? Oh gosh. It's so funny when I'm a tutor and I also teach some crafts here and there. And it is so funny that when I do this on my own where nobody's watching, it'll come out near perfect. And then when I'm showing someone, it will not ever come out like it's supposed to. Okay, I'm just flattening the box so that I can see where the middle is here. And then I can stab this a little better so it's not completely off to the side. Okay, we'll see here. All right. Now, some people like to put like a big foam thing underneath. I love stabbing my fingers, so I'm just gonna, no. All right, this actually came out in the middle. Yes, woohoo. Oh my gosh, okay. So, okay, I'm gonna go up a little bit here. Not too far because this is mini journal again. I just kind of do it by the side here and just put the all through there. And then I'm doing one at the top here, okay. And I'll come down a little ways so I get most of the papers in there, but not as far down as I would for a larger journal. Okay, you know, that's not bad. All right, after a few failed attempts. All righty. See how easy that was? Oh my word. Okay, so here you like to do, I have learned this from others before me, that it's good to do about 3 lengths of thread. And sometimes I like to add charms or other things to hanging from my journals, and so I like to have plenty of thread. And I also like to have plenty of thread because, you know, apparently it takes me a few attempts to do things. So I'm just going to I put this in my teeth to flatten it out. I don't think that's probably great, but I do have a threader somewhere, but I don't have it in my binding kit. I need to put it in there. Okay, and since this isn't a huge journal, sometimes you gotta really watch the thread a little bit, so you're not running out of thread, I guess. Okay, so go in the middle, all right? And then we just keep a little bit of a tail there, and we go up to the top one and come all the way down to this bottom one, okay? And all the time you have that middle tail there. I'm gonna pull this through a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back through that middle, all right? And trying not to separate the thread. So when I come through, I kind of look at this and I usually hold it a little bit. So I have this thread on this side of the main thread and the new one coming in like this. All right. So I want to make sure, where's that thread coming out? There we go. Okay. Now I want to make sure that this is tight. So I just kind of like a guitar string. I mean, you can have a little bit of flexibility in there, but not a ton. So it's a little off kilter, but hey, that's all right. Not bad. Not bad. All right. So I'm gonna just get this a little bit there. Okay. I'm moving it a little bit so I feel like when I tie it, it might be a little bit. Okay. I feel like it's a little off kilter, but for not measuring and not doing it so carefully, it's not too bad. All right. Now I'm going to tie it. I'm not going to add a charm onto this journal. So I'm just going to tie it a couple times here, and then I'm going to cut the thread too. But see, if you did want to add a charm, you could leave, if I was going to add a charm, I probably would have had this string. I would have had this the same length as this one and have it a little longer and then thread some beads and different things on there. But I'm not going to with this one, so I'm just going to cut it about 1 inch. All right, and I'm throwing that excess thread away. All right, so I'm putting my awl back, my waxed thread. Alrighty. Okay, so here we have it. Okay. Get those clips out of the way. All right, so again, not perfect, but, and if I wanted to, because it is a little bit wonky, then what I can do is I could always take an offcut or some, and I can cover that spine, or I've even used like contact paper with pattern on it and covered that if I don't like it, or fabric, or duct tape. I've used duct tape before if that looks, because it looks kind of ugly, but I mean, it's not bad, right? Is it that bad? Anyway, okay. All right, now I'm gonna pause the video here, the tutorial, and I like to just kind of flatten these out too once you get them in here. Just kind of bend them a little bit, and I will be as we go along adding things, so it's not too detrimental if you don't, but, and I'll come back and I'm going to show you how I embellish this journal, and yeah, that's it. So, and I'll be have some travel ephemera and different things that I'm going to add. This is like a vellum sheet, and there's that passport. Okay, and yeah, and then we can add pockets, belly bands, tuck spots, flip outs. We can add all kinds of fun things. And this would make such a cute travel journal to throw in your bag, wouldn't take up a ton. I have a friend who's heading on a European tour soon, well, for July, for like 2 weeks, almost, I guess, a little bit over 2 weeks. And we were talking today, I just saw her today, and we were talking about how, you know, you don't want to have a ton of luggage when you're traveling on a tour like that, because she's going to multiple countries in Europe, and it's an organized tour. And yeah, and so you want to travel as light as possible, because when you're taking trains, planes, and automobiles, you know, you're throwing your luggage around and putting it on one, you know, one thing and to another. And, you know, I was telling her, because she hasn't traveled as much as I have overseas, I said, make sure you have a carry-on with really good wheels, and carry a backpack. And it's nice if the backpacks can slide onto that handle of the carry-on. So yeah, so anyway, it just reminded me of that when I was talking about traveling light, that you could bring your travel journal along, and it wouldn't take up a lot of space. This would be so cute and tiny, and you could throw it in. Anyway, so you'll have a pause here in the video, and who knows how many days will go before I get my act together for, you know, putting things together for finishing this. And then also in the next video, I will show you 2 or 3 of these that I've already made, which probably, I don't know, they may be a little more even on the spine or something. You never know. I can't remember right now, but I will show you. So anyway, chit chat. I'm going on and on and on. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. All right. See you later. Okay. Hello. I am back, and it's the next day. It wasn't too many days after I did this. So I let this dry good overnight. And yeah, and I kind of flattened it a little bit under a book. It's still a little, could be flatter, but it's okay. I wanted to talk about a little bit about using this while traveling. I talked about throwing it into your, you know, carry-on or your tote bag, backpack. I will take one of these small ones on the road with me or overseas. And what I do is I like to just jot down quick notes or a little bit about what I did that day. And I'll do it that evening if I get time. If I'm tired and jet lagged or what have you, then I won't do it that same day, but I'll jot on another piece of paper, and then I'll write nicer in these. And I wanted to show you one that's pretty eclectic, but I had gone to, a couple of years ago, went with a friend of mine to Scotland, Ireland, and Iceland. And I had been in Scotland and Ireland before, but had never been in Iceland. And I made this journal out of a graduation card my son had gotten, and I Mod Podged some other bits of cards onto it. And we went in the fall, so I used kind of fall colors. And yeah, and so as we were going along on our trip, we were my friend and I were together for 2 weeks in those 3 countries. And so this is going to look kind of messy, but I had a pocket in the front and I would stick little items in there. And then each day I numbered them. So day 1, day 2, 3, some days I had more than others, and just kept little business cards that we got from restaurants, little map bits, little pieces, and just wrote down, and tags from, it was really cold in Scotland, so I bought a hat, and this was the tag, I believe, and just all little odds and ends that I was able to get from brochures, big borrow and steal from places. And then here's day 6, and just wrote down, briefly all different things. And so this is kind of, again, a little messy and whatnot, but it just reminded me what we did every day. Okay. And so that's what I think this little journal that we're making together, you and I think that would be great for this type of record keeping. And so, I don't need to go through all of this, but, it just was, yeah, like I said, little odds and ends, receipts. This was from a napkin from a pub that we ate at, just all the items that I could get. This was from I think I bought a tea towel, and this was the label, or, I don't remember all of it anymore, and then I have a pocket at the back. I like to add pockets for little items that maybe don't fit in the rest of the journal. This was a little foldable backpack I got, which was waterproof, which was great because it rains a lot in those countries. So yeah, so that was that. And then when I got home, I did my big, nice junk journal. And now I don't normally make them this big. This is more like a scrapbook type style. But I got this old photo album for $1 at a garage sale. And I had so many photos and so many items from our trip. And I just wrote, where we went. And then, okay, sorry. And I don't think you've seen me on screen yet. So you might see some pictures of me. But again, I like to have these big pockets. Well, not always big, but pockets in the front, tickets. And this is one of those, that the pages peel up from the old style photo album, which I do not love, but this seemed in really good shape when I got it. And I sealed down the edges so that they wouldn't come up. Oh, here's me and my husband and my friend and my husband, because my husband just joined us for a couple days at the front end of the trip. And yeah, and I'm all bundled up. So, so anyway, yeah. And so, yeah, we ate at a castle, had afternoon tea at this castle, and just all the things. And then I did not have enough of these clear photo pages, so I added in my own cardstock or file folders to add extra pages of all my memories. And so, yeah, let me see if I can show you that. Well, there's just lots of me bundled up. It was chilly, but it was actually decent weather most of the time. Sometimes cold, but not too bad. There's me pretending to kiss this one statue at this church, so it's probably sacrilegious. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a jokester, so I have a tendency to joke a lot when I'm traveling too, so don't take it too seriously. We both were wearing our sunglasses, so I just put girl power and little sunglass, stickers, but you don't need to see all of this. But what I wanted to say was that this is how I typically do it. I bring a little junk journal with just the bare bones, the guts have you of the junk journal, more blank spaces. And then later and that's the one that I do the day-to-day little notes and receipts. And I also include receipts and other business cards in here too. But that way I have just kind of the basics of the trip. And I remember when I get home, because it's really hard unless I look through my photos. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the day we went there. And I'm not too worried about which day we went where usually, but I did number that one I showed you, day 1, day 2. Just kind of helps me keep track of it when I'm on the go. But I also I don't worry too much about that if I don't remember which day. It's more important what I did and where I went versus which day it was. So So anyway, that's kind of a long story. So, but I just wanted to give a sample of kind of what I typically do. So this little junk journal that we are making together, you and I, would be the day-to-day one that I would just write down, you know, especially for a short trip, this would be great. You know, day 1, day 2, what I did, where I went. And then I would typically make a little bit nicer junk journal when I get home, because before I go, I don't always know, you know, where we have kind of a plan, sometimes where we're going to go, but I don't always know which sites we're going to see and whatnot. Okay. So I brought up my pineapple tray from Dollar Tree, and I just want to continue on from where I was. Now, if you remember, I kind of got this a little crooked, but it doesn't matter. And I didn't think about, I think I might eventually cover that, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I was looking through my travel ephemera, and I thought I would put this one on. I liked how it had dots, and this has dots. And then I could put where I'm going or where I went below. So I'm going to adhere this on there, and I'll just kind of chit-chat while we're going. I have my AdTech adhesive, and so I'll use that on this. You know, you can use any kind of glue you like, of course. And I've used several different types of glues and tape runners. And I always go back to these AdTech tape runners. I feel like they work pretty good for me. Since it's on the cover, I'm going to add a little bit extra maybe than I normally would. Okay, and I'll try to get this while I'm chit-chatting. Sorry, I'm pulling it down so you probably can't see. I'm going to try to line up maybe along the... And, you know, I often get these things crooked, but that's the, you know, that's the... glory of having a junk journal. I think it might be slightly crooked, but that's, you know, that's, I always say it's kind of the Joanne way if it's a little crooked. You're gonna be like, wow. And yeah, it's, I mean, you could pull it up and re-glue and what, but honestly, I mean, why? Does anybody even notice if it's slightly off kilter? Maybe, but yeah. Now, if I wasn't gonna put where I went or what I did, I might do a little embellishment, a little, this is not a sticker, but like, or I could do a washi tape, but I think I'll leave that so that I would put where I went. And I was kind of thinking too, I could reach over here. Oh, it'd be fun to use stamps on this one, especially international stamps. But I was also thinking it would be fun to put a little label there, which is what I often do. Especially when I get home though, I might wait. I don't like that red there, but I would probably try to find something, maybe a black or a tan or something, kind of going with muted colors on this one, although there are some bright colors, but I would put something like that, and then that dresses it up a bit. And oh, here is a black one. Okay, or yeah, kind of a brown. Yeah, I would do that. I might age that up a little bit, so I'm not going to put it on now. I think I'll just wait on that, and maybe reaching across and different things. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, so here I want to add a pocket, I think, and I'm not quite sure what kind of pocket. I feel like it needs to be a little bit bigger. I have my offcuts from what I cut yesterday, and so I'm kind of looking through those on the side here, if you're wondering what I'm rifling through. That's a little bit bigger, so I would make it smaller, probably cut that in half. I feel like I want more of a pocket to go across though. Okay. Oh, that'd be kind of cute. It kind of matches the cover. I don't like that green with the red though. I mean, I don't worry too much about matchy, but sometimes certain things just don't speak to me. Are you that way? Okay, I'm going to leave that one. I would embellish this one a little bit, or let's see. This is photo op and vacation. I don't have day 1 and 2 because I got this as a used pack off Facebook Marketplace, but there's little stickers in here. And honestly, I think there was little stickers. Here's a tab. I like to put tabs along my journals too, just kind of fun, and also makes it a little easier to turn the pages. And it's mostly just decorative though. It's not really for turning the pages necessarily. It's mostly just decorative, so in my opinion. So all right, I wanted a little bit bigger pocket there, so but let's do something here. And okay, let me see. I might just do like, this is kind of cute. It says photo op and vacation. So let's just put that there. That's kind of cute. Figure out which corner. Oh, put it here. Okay. It's a little bit of a chubby sticker. It's like a cardboard one. All right, put that off to the side. Okay, and then I feel like I don't always add something on every page. but I just feel like this green is so plain. And this is real, this travel brings out the colors in this. All right, let's go for it. You know what? Let's just go for it. Sometimes you overthink things and then it just gets, well, for me, just goes awry. You know, so, all right. I don't always like these poofy ones, and usually what I'll do is scrape that off and add a little glue on here, but I'll add a little glue and I'll keep the sticker part on there. Okay, so add a little bit of my Tombow Mono Aqua. But again, any glue is fine. I mean, honestly, it's all in what you prefer, what you get used to. I've had people, when I'm teaching junk journaling, or they'll ask me which ones I use, and I will share that because it's always kind of nice to know what people use and what they prefer, so you're not starting from scratch. But also, you know, I always try to say too, you know, try a couple different kinds if you can afford to, and you know, if you can buy a couple and then just see which one you like working with. Now, I wanted to cover this. This was from a travel brochure I had mentioned. I wanted to cover that because I don't need that April 18th through the 21st there. I do have some washi tapes, so let me look. So these containers, I think they're made by Jot, and they're from Dollar Tree. So I like to use these. I have 2 of these for washi tape. Do I want the tropical feel? Or maybe like this rose one. This is like this is more gold. I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling it. Okay. Okay, let me get out my other washi tape container. And I do have a bigger washi tape container because, yes, I am excessive and I have a lot of washi tape. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm not someone who usually goes for red. But I'm seeing the red on that thing, on that, listen to me, on that thing. I think this is, well, I was going to say Rome, but it doesn't look like Rome. It's somewhere else, so, okay. Or this green, or not green, brown. What am I saying? All right, let me see. I'm just kind of comparing them, see how they look. That would be okay. I also want to make sure I cover the writing on that. This would be kind of cute. That might be too busy, but you know, junk journals are fun, and I don't mind if they're kind of busy. You know, I'm going with that. I'm going to make this more fun. I was kind of using muted colors on this one, but I do like to have a little bit of pizzazz. Why not? I'm going to add a little bit of glue on here. I don't trust washi tape sometimes. Well, all the time, apparently, but because I've had it come up on me in journals and things, so I've learned that. Sorry, I got distracted, and all right, let's put my tape over there on the side. I'm not measuring. I don't really measure unless I absolutely have to. That's probably maybe not a good thing, I don't know, but usually works out eyeballing it. Okay, and that's going to be a little slippery. You know, I can see that lettering underneath it, so I'm going to take another little strip of washi tape because I can see that lettering. Okay. I just dropped one of my washi tapes. Ah! All right. So now I have to see what to go over that. Oh, that's kind of cute. Let's just go with that. And again, now to find the end of this. So I haven't used some of these in a while, so the ends are hidden, or I tore that off, so I cut it a little neater. And you can just tear off washi tape too. That's fun. Looks a little bit more, I don't know. I always say junk journal-y, and maybe you're like, what the heck does that mean? But a little more junky, a little less scrapbooky. I always feel like scrapbooks are a little bit more precise, I guess. Let's just, okay, I was going to tear that, but it's not tearing for me easily, so I'll just cut it. All right. Okay. And that'd be cute. I could write something on there if there was a date or a place that I went to. All right. And I don't like this back page. This was, again, a brochure, and you're like, yeah, we get it. It's a brochure. All right. Just cut it out. Like, all right. And I was thinking it might be kind of fun to do a little, like, it doesn't have to be the same size as this paper, and that kind of highlights that, but that's busy as all get out. All right, how about this? What we'll remember, okay, or this one says itinerary. That's kind of nice. Oh, okay, I maybe don't want, oh, I should have thought about that. The travel sticker is kind of, it would have been cute if this page went below the travel sticker, if that was up a little ways, but that's all right. It's all right. All right, I like this one. I think I like this one, and it brings out a little bit of the green in here and the blue and the other one. Okay, I'm going to put that down a little more. So, well, let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's all right. I'll put it behind there. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to do the Ad Tech tape runner again. Now, this is going to be a little hard here because this is, I'm going to put something behind it so I can, this is not the one I'm going to use, but I'm just putting it behind there so I'm not running into that sticker. All right. Yeah, so I hope you're all doing well today. I had a dental appointment, and I absolutely hate the dentist. I mean, I don't hate the dentist or dentist in general. They're usually fine. But we've lived here 3 years, and this is dentist number 3, and I don't feel that I'm a picky person. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm not a picky person, honestly, but I had 2 prior bad dental clinics, and now the place I went to today, I loved. So I was like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Now I have a dentist. The first place I went to, I think the clinic itself was okay, but the hygienist I had was just, I didn't feel she was very kind. She never remembered who I was. I went there like 3 times. I like that. I'm going to add this to this page. I just put my fingers there. That's how I measure with my hand, I guess. I told her that I get nervous when I go to the dentist, and she knew that, and I don't know. And then she would never engage with me. She would just have a video screen on, and that would be playing some sort of a movie. And one time it was like, I don't know, people wrestling alligators or something. And then one time it was like Pirates of the Caribbean. I went like 3 times because I thought, well, maybe if she gets to know me better, she'll be a little bit, you know, nicer or bond with me or something. I don't know. And I'm going to put that there. I think it's kind of cute. So I'm going to use a little bit of my glue on the edge here. And so all these violent movies would always be playing, except one time there was Ireland. It was like a countryside, and that was nice because it made me more relaxed. But I put that in the middle. It's not running into that sticker over there. I don't think it would anyway, but I got a tissue here too for this. Tombow Mono Aqua takes us a few seconds to adhere, which is kind of nice because sometimes, like, if I wanted to move it a little bit, like, I can move it. But I said this on another video, it's also annoying because sometimes it won't lay down and you almost have to go back a minute later and press it down, you know. Such an ordeal. Anyway, so I told her the one time, I finally spoke up and I said, those are making me nervous, and those movies. And she goes, yeah, well, I get bored of the same ones. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then the 3rd time I went, she said her name. She's like, hi, I'm, you know. And I go, yeah. I said, I know, I've been here 3 times. I said, if I don't remember you after 3 times, I said, there might be something wrong with me. You know, because I like to make jokes and stuff. I wasn't being serious. I said, you know, there might be something where, like, you should call the doctor if I don't remember you after 3 times. Because, you know, yeah, must mean I have dementia or something. So she goes, well, I don't remember people. And I'm like, yeah, well, I said, yeah, I mean, I get that. I said, you know, you see a lot of people. But she just was so, I don't know. I'm sorry. I was like, in a medical situation, I feel like if you take this job in a dental clinic or any kind of a clinic, like, you should like people and want to engage with people. I feel like that would be why you would take the job. So I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I found this page that I like to put on this one. And so I'll kind of get that. Okay, I want to pull that up a little. It was getting kind of weird. Okay. Okay. Now with these tape runners, they pretty much, the ones I use are permanent, and if you're pulling that up, you're going to rip. So you got to kind of make sure you line it up first and make sure you know what you're doing, which I don't always know what I'm doing. So anyway, so that was the first, that was the first place. And I don't normally leave bad reviews, but I went on their website because I thought for the greater good, like she should know that, you know, that she could step up her game a little bit, you know, and I just, yeah, anyway, I don't like to be a complainer or anything, but I felt like I gave her 3 chances and she pretty much failed all 3. So I'm going to put that little roadmap thing here, maybe on the bottom. I was trying to kind of balance if I have a sticker on the top on one page, maybe a sticker on the bottom on the other page, or maybe over here. I don't like it too close to that seam though, because then that's going to press on those seams and kind of loosen them more than I want. I don't know. I feel like maybe a road trip one there would be cute. I don't know if, yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what this trip is going to be for. So I might not want to, like, it might not be a road trip. You're like, okay, you're weird, which I am. All right, let's put that there, okay? And if that starts to come up later, I can always add a little bit of glue. Like when I'm getting ready for this trip, you know, don't know which trip this is for, but when I'm getting ready for it, I can always fix that. So yeah, all right. Okay, this is that vellum. Be cute if I had some kind of, when I write on here, if I added some extra stickers or maybe a, you know, a colorful tag from something I buy. It'd be cute to see through that with the vellum. Okay, got my other stickers and different things. This I also want to cover. I don't like the back of this image. Okay, all right, so that was the first dental clinic. All right, I digress, as per usual. All right, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to this other place, which is really close to our house. Oh, I like that. What do you think? I wish you could be here, and then you'd be like, yay or nay. All right, I like that. Okay. So second place, really close to my house. I thought, great, you know, I hope I like this place. And, you know, I really, you know, it's so convenient. It's so close to home. All right. So I go and I went there twice. I went the first time, really loved the hygienist. Then the dentist comes in. He doesn't even look at me. He doesn't even look at my teeth. Doesn't do that screening they usually do for, I think a piece of my hair is in here. I will live with this journal forever. If they ever do like DNA, they'll be like finding my hair in here. All right. I don't know why they do DNA in a junk journal, but anyway. So I love the hygienist. I thought, oh, yay. But then, like I said, when the dentist came in, he did not engage with me at all, did not call me by name, said something about the flowers he was growing outside and something else. And then just instantly said, oh, she needs a new filling on this old filling, which I have some old fillings, but I've never heard that I needed them replaced ever. And I just was like, okay. And then I went up front and they were going to book me for having this filling done. And I thought, I don't feel good about this. The guy didn't even talk to me about it. Like he didn't say why he would do that or what, you know, why. I don't know. It just was weird. And, okay, now I picked out a couple things ahead of time. I tried to be a little bit prepared before I came on here, but maybe I can't find them now. And so I just thought, I don't feel good about getting this filling. Like, I don't need a filling. I don't need to. And the hygienist goes, oh, you'll have nice, shiny, white filling. And I'm like, because I have silver ones or whatever. What are those, amalgamum? Or I don't know what they even call them. And I'm like, well, okay. I'm like, whatever, let me just get out of here. And then I booked the appointment and then I canceled it. And I thought, I'm just gonna see what happens the next time I go. I'll give them one more chance. Maybe the dentist was just awkward because I was new and, you know, who knows. So I thought, let's just see. So I go back. And, you know, and I always get cleanings and the x-rays and all of that went fine. Really liked the hygienist. She was nice and, you know, engaged with me. Like, you know, she was talking about her family and just, you know, seemed like a nice lady. And the front desk lady seemed okay. You know, everybody else there was fine. Well then, okay, I'm going to be really careful here so I can And I measured this, well, didn't measure it, but like traced it earlier, so I knew it would fit here. Okay, so there, and I'm just embellishing some of these pages, not overly, but all right. Now here, I was thinking I wanted something else, so I wanted something more plain on this side, I feel like. This was the address part of the brochure, which I always scratch out my address on things. I don't know why. It's like I'm neurotic, like somebody's gonna, you know, find out my address and stalk me or something. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, just even when I'm putting stuff in the recycling, I'm like a Looney Tunes when it comes to that. All right, so, well, that and you're like, yeah, you're not only a loony in that regard. All right, okay, I'm just looking at what I want here. Okay, I feel like that's kind of cute. Could use up this other piece. I wanted some, like I said, this was kind of busy, so I went, oh, no, you know, I had this earlier. I thought this was like from a magazine picture or something I had. Okay. So, sorry, I'm getting away from my, I'm going to put this here and put, I think, no, I'm going to put that up. There's a little blue along there and there's writing along here because I want to cover that with like some washi tape or this, maybe this border or something. All right. Okay. I almost feel like that should be aged up a little. I could ink that, but, so second time I go in, okay, so everything goes well with the hygienist and everything, and the dentist comes in, same deal, doesn't call me by name, doesn't, you know, and says that a whole different tooth needs a filling. Did no longer said that the first one that he had mentioned before needed a filling, but that now this other completely other tooth needed a filling. Oops. Okay. I better concentrate a little bit instead of gabbing away here. All right. And I'm going to go on this edge more and then we'll get it like that. Okay. And I got a little upset, like not with the dentist, because he would just bolt. He would just say something and immediately leave the room. Would not check your tongue, not really look at your teeth. Barely. He would look at your mouth for 2 seconds and go, that filling needs to be removed. That one needs to be removed. And so I said to the hygienist, I said, that's interesting that last time he said a different tooth and this time, and she kind of hemmed and hawed and she goes, oh, well, he sees so many different people, you know, I don't know. And I don't know. And, you know, and I'm like, no, I said, I'm sorry. I'm not coming back. And she's running after me out, you know, cause I'm leaving and I have insurance and everything. So it's not like I'm, you know, I mean, everything's paid for. And I like that one. I like that. All right. So I go bolting out. And then, you know, she's kind of quickly saying to the front desk lady, yeah, Joanne's not coming back. We don't need to book another appointment, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I really hope you come back. You're so nice. And you know, and you live so close and all these other things. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I won't be back. And then, okay. So then I thought, okay, I don't think it's just me. I think this guy, you know what? That's not thick enough. Okay. It's not going to cover either. All right. It's a no-go on that washi tape. All right. No-go on the washi. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to see if there's another one. Okay. Let me bring back one of my washi containers here. All right. So let's go with that. That's kind of cute. Plaid, different types of plaid. All right. There we go. I'll just go with that one. All right. So I thought, you know, it can't just be me that this guy is shafted, you know, or tried to shaft. We have really good insurance through my husband's work, so I feel like they were trying to scam me. I honestly do. I mean, I'm not even kidding. So, and I've just had like bad luck, you know, these last couple of years with finding a decent clinic. So anyway, and that might, if it doesn't, I think it'll cover it most of the way. All right. So, I look up this guy online and there's mixed reviews. Some people liked him, some didn't. But a couple people said that he did unnecessary procedures on them. And I thought, bingo. Yep. And so I actually contacted a gal on Facebook. I said, are you the one who left a review, you know, on Dr. So-and-so's, you know, Google reviews or whatever? And she said, yes, I am. And she told me the whole story, which was atrocious. And then actually recently met a woman, a friend of mine, and found out that she went to that dentist. And I told her about my bad experience. She said, you know, you're right. He never calls us by name. And, you know, her husband had really bad experience with him, but they didn't know. And so they just, you know, ended up going back to him. And so now she said she's going to go somewhere else because it just, yeah, doesn't seem like a good place. So, all right, so today I went to this dental clinic and I'm all nerved up. I'm all scared because I'm like, gosh, you know, I just don't want to have another bad hygienist or dentist or what have you. So, and I really had a great experience, loved the place, and now I feel like that's my clinic. And I told my husband when I got home, because he's been kind of waiting for all my, you know, all my dental experiences. He's been going back to our old neighborhood, which was like, you know, 45 minutes to an hour away. And so he's like, well, okay, well, maybe I'll change then, you know? And I was like, yeah, I would. So I don't know. I just want to cover up some of this. There's some writing along the edge, which again, it's a junky junk journal, would be okay to just leave that. But, you know, I want this to look nice. Sorry if my hair was in the screen there. So yeah, so I don't know. You know, that's not going to go over that little bump. We'll just kind of end it there and then come over the other way. All right. So I'm really happy because I just get so nervous now going because of all these kind of bad experiences. And yeah, so I don't know. Anyway, so that's my story. There you have it. And it just has made me really leery of going to the dentist, where I felt like in the past I wasn't that concerned about it as much. But I've got like dental PTSD. All right, what do you think? Not bad. And, you know, you can definitely add more little embellishments, little stickers and tags and stuff, but I'm kind of leaving it simple again because I think, again, this is going to be my little record keeper of just kind of a daily travel, jotting down the places I went and stuff. So I was going to say we went because I'm always usually with family. But like that trip I showed you the journals from, I was with friends. I kind of like that. I'm going to do this. So, all right. So this is wallpaper, so I'm going to use glue because I feel like the glue might adhere a little better to that. So, yeah. So anyway, I just feel like relief. And now I just feel kind of tired. Like getting so nervous like that just really takes a lot out of you. Have you noticed that? I don't know. So, yeah. So anyway, just very happy, and slide that over a little bit. Okay, now just to add a little touch there, just to add a little something, something. All right. Okay, here's another one of those ugly back pages from the images. Hopefully I'm on screen. I looked at my last one, kind of previewed it, and then I was like, it wasn't like too great on screen. I like the way these look when I do these, and it kind of adds a frame for that picture on the back. Okay, so I'm going to do this again. We've got a pattern going. We have a pattern. All right. So, yeah, you have to let me know about how you like dentists, and I don't know, maybe you are a dentist or married to one, and you're like, darn you, Joanne, keep your dental comments to yourself. But it's like any profession. I mean, there's, you know, people who love what they do and that shows. And then there's people who probably would rather be in a different job but feel trapped, and maybe, you know, I don't know. But, okay, well, that got a little crooked, but you know what? It's all right. It's kind of cute anyway. It's kind of cute, a little crooked, right? And sometimes you have these little glue beads just kind of run, well, at least I do. I just run my hands along a little bit and kind of get those off. Well, it's a little crooked, but it's okay. All right, there's that passport image thingy that I had. Oh, here's another one of these, and I thought this was kind of a cute fold out, so I would just put a little covering here. You know, I haven't really used too many. I was using those puffy stickers, but I had like these other sticker sheets that I thought might be kind of cute to use, that I'm just pulling it over. It's a sticker sheet that I had. Maybe this World Traveler one might fit. So that's kind of cute. If you can see that. Am I like way over on one side? All right. but it doesn't really cover it. So, well, does it if I go down there? And then, yeah. Okay, I'll just do this here a little bit, butt it up there a little bit. And then I'll do a little washi tape down here. Well, I could leave that Sardinia, Italy. That's kind of cute. Just leave that. That's cute. Why not? And that was a little close to the seam than I like, but this isn't too bulky of a sticker, so it should be okay. Well, you know, I have these little stickers. I kind of feel like this would go with the blue. That's sweet. The corner there. All right. And this is why, again, I wanted one signature, because you see we're already getting kind of fat. So we're getting a little bit of a little mini alligator mouth. Not bad, but with some of those puffy stickers, that adds that. Oh, another one of these. All right. So I had a lot of these. And again, I've got to see, you know, I'm going to add this as a pocket on the back or the front. I'm going to leave that over there. Okay. Oh, or this, and this too, maybe. Okay. There we go. Got some, I was having trouble finding those earlier. My little container here off to the side. All right. Now, I'm not sure if I have any more of those really handy little ticket thingies I had. No, I do. Okay, I do. I lied. I do. Okay, this one says, check this out. I think, you know, I might go like this, because if I was writing here along the lines on this, although I don't care when I'm writing if I go whichever way, if they're mismatched, but I think that's kind of cute. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that. Okay. All right, you know what? It's kind of hard to get in there. I'm going to use my glue on this one. It's kind of hard to get along that inside seam. I get a lot of little glue nubbies, so. All right. Okay, yeah, so, I don't like anything medical. I'm just like that. I'm pretty low-key, usually don't want 1,000 things done. Obviously, if I have something that's broken, you know, fix it, but I've never had any surgeries. I'm generally in decent health. So, all right, that's a little puffy. I feel like that's pulling on that seam a little bit heavy. Okay, but once I get writing in this and going with it, it should be fine. Okay, so I got this green here and this here green, I'm saying. And then I think I'll do a little pocket on the back here. I'm going to go in a little bit so it's not in and up a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to cut it, I think. I'm not going to, I could use my cutter. This is such a tiny little journal. I mean, it's fine. And embrace the wonkiness. Embrace it. Don't get too picky. I say that as advice to myself, because I can get really picky sometimes, and then something will bug me. I'm gonna be like, oh, every time I look at that, I'm gonna see that crooked pocket, or every time I look at that, I'm gonna see that crooked belly band. Now, don't do that to yourself, you know? And anyway, it's first world problems, as they say. It's just a little fun journal. It's, you know, nobody else is gonna look at it probably and say that it's you know, not decent, or they probably won't even notice it, honestly. Like when I look at other items that someone has made, I don't generally notice unless it's way off, you know. But we can always cover up mistakes too. So this will be a great little pocket for like a little receipt and stuff. Obviously not a huge pocket, so I mean, I'm not gonna stuff it too full, but a little bit. All right. Excuse me, I have seasonal allergies, so I'm always kind of like that could go up there, but that's just part of a wording. I almost want more little embellishments. But again, I do want to kind of not go crazy with that, because then I wouldn't have room to write. Let's put that up there. That's kind of fun. And since I have the glue right here, I might as well use that. All right. I'm kind of an over gluer, over taper. You don't need to probably always use that much glue or tape. Yeah, but ever since I was a little girl, I've loved glue and tape. I don't know. I always liked paper products too. Were you like that? Again, this glue is the kind where you got to kind of hold it down a bit, or I don't know, which, yeah, gets you to slow down a little bit. Look at your artwork, I suppose. All right. By the way, thank you for being here with me, and hope you don't mind the chit chat. All right. Do have a little pocket that Sandra from Blossom and Inspire made for me with some, oh gosh, I had ordered some stuff from a live auction. And so that's kind of cute. And I thought that would be really cute in this journal. You know, that would be super cute right there. Wow, did I open to the right page or what? Okay, I'm gonna look at the back. Yeah, super cute. All right, now I'm gonna tape that in there. Okay, just running my tape on the back side here. Again, you probably don't need loads of tape or glue, but I don't know. Oh, you know, it'd be cute too to add a little ribbon to the top of this. Didn't really prepare for that. Let's look. Let's look together, all right? I have some ribbon off to the side here. I'll just kind of, you know, talk amongst yourselves. No. All right. I don't know if I like pink for that, but I think I've got some pink ribbon handy. That's kind of pretty. Why not? Why not? All right. And I don't have room on my craft table because it is, and I'm cutting more than I need. Just, okay, my craft desk is so messy that I do not have room to spread out too much. So, all right. Whose fault is that, Joanne? I don't know. I'm not sure whose fault that is. All right. Now, I'm going to go through this. Put this through here. And, yeah, let's see. All right, and I can trim this down once I get it. Okay. It's fun to have it coming up out of there. And I'll just kind of do a little edge here. All right, and, yeah. Get wonky. Embrace the wonkiness. Okay, all right. So I like how that sticks up out of there, the ribbon. And honestly, should maybe glue the back down a little bit so it stays. That's be fine. It's fine. Okay, now I only have a couple little stickers left. And I don't want to use all these. I'm not into the bulgy stickers all the time. Like I said, I'll usually take that adhesive off the back of those, like this this poofy adhesive, and I usually scrape that off and then I'll use my own glue on them, but because I didn't want you to sit here for an hour and I didn't prepare that ahead of time. I thought I wouldn't this time. Okay, now I need a little something in this pocket, but you know what? That could also be a little, I was going to say receipt, or not really a receipt though. I think that'd be too big for this, but like a little card or something. I had this, I'm just looking at what's around me. I had this little thing, which is kind of cute. But that's kind of cute in there, wouldn't it? And then I could write on the back of it. It's a spine of a cookbook that I bought at an estate sale. It's got a little mold on the back. That just, that does not sound good. Yeah. Okay, so let me look through my stash here. My mini stash over to the side. I have a lot of extra travel ephemera in the other room. I have some shelves. They're like cubicle shelves from like IKEA that I have. I'm going to put this in this little heart, sideways heart, little shelf from IKEA that's got all those cubes in it. I don't know what the name of it is. I bought 2 of them used, I believe. I know I got one used. I've had them many, many years, but they're great for holding. There, that's kind of cute. Oh, it needs to be a little bit lower in there. Just trim off that edge, trim off this edge a little. Well, let's see. How does that fit in there? Yeah, I'll trim a little bit of that edge, I think. All right. And then this would be cute to put a little, you could write on here, whatever the day is or something. Okay. All right. Let me look through. I did want to put another pocket at the front. And then I had this. I was kind of thinking that would be cute. And then I could use those offcuts instead of getting, yeah, let's just do that. All right. What was I talking about? I get distracted. Oh, the cubicle shelves. Yeah, so they're just really handy. I have a lot of board games on there, and then I have some junk journal stuff. So, okay, I want that. I want this so it can bend still, so I don't want to, there. I think that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Hopefully I haven't checked here to see if I'm on screen. I guess I am. All right, and I will just add a bead of glue along there. Let's see if I like it this way or this way. Doesn't matter. All right. We do have a trip coming up, so we are going to go to Tampa, Florida, which we have not been there before. So that'll be kind of fun, but it should be pretty hot this time of year and humid, but you know, we're doing it. All right. So husband and I and our son. So we'll be the three of us together. Which is wonderful because, you know, our son is 25 and he's getting on his own. He is on his own. And, you know, we don't get to see him as much as we'd like anymore. So it's always wonderful to be able to do a trip together. All right. I think that's pretty good. I feel like this green is kind of plain too. But again, I do want to have some, and I did put a sticker there, which is bugging me because it's one of those raised stickers. I'm getting all flinchy. No. All right. Okay, I think, oh, and I forgot to tell you, okay, that I got some of this. It's almost like a seam binding. I don't know where I got this. I got this in an estate sale lot or, I don't know, thrift store. But I think it was on cardboard, and I feel like it was more like a seam. It's not a seam binding per se, but it's that type of a thing. So which would be cute to have a button here. Do that. I was kind of thinking right now it'd be cute to have a button and then come back around over. Boop. Okay, but right now I'm just going to close it. I'm just going to tie it. Like sometimes I'll do my crocodile or, yeah, and put a little, gosh, I lose my words when I'm filming, on a little eyelet, I guess. And then, you know, and close the journal that way. But I feel like I just, for now, you know, and again, when I get home from my trip, I may add a little extra embellishments or something. But right now I think, and I would like to add some, maybe some little lace along the side. And, but yeah, I like to kind of wait a little bit sometimes on that. And I'll bring a little packet of items, little ephemera and little bits and pieces of ribbon and tags and lace and stuff because on the trip when I'm traveling, because for example, if I had a day where we didn't have a lot going on, then I could add an extra little embellishment, or, you know, I pick up a label somewhere, I can adhere that. So this doesn't look the greatest, but oh, whatever. I made it longer so that when it got, I wasn't sure how fat this was going to get. So yeah. So anyway, all right, we'll just leave that. And you're like, wow, yeah. Gorge. All right. Okay. So, and I might add a little something on the back. If I do, it'll be one of these types of tags because those are kind of fun to have on the back as well. And I'm just kind of looking through here and seeing if I have one that I like to do. Oh, that's cute. That might be cute. And then I could write, like usually what I'll write on the front is maybe where we went and maybe the dates, you know, Rome, you know, June 1st through, 7th, 2025. We didn't go to Rome this year, but, and then on the back, I may write, or if it was several, locations, like maybe went to Rome, but then we also went to other smaller towns, might write those on the back. So that'd be kind of cute. And then also I will just bring a packet along with me. I get them from Dollar Tree. So I bring those little packets and like I showed you in my Dollar Tree haul on another video. And then I will just put a few of these things in here with little, little stickers or whatever. And this is what I'll hold my receipts and other things with. So while I'm on the trip. So, and I'll take a mini scissors for airline regulations and usually a tape runner. And if I bring the liquid glue, I put it with my cosmetics and toothpaste and all the liquids. So, all right. So, I don't like that closure. So I'm going to fix that later. So, see, I am still a perfectionist. Embrace the wonkiness. All right. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I'll try to get this video uploaded. I know some of you wanted to see what these mini journals I was talking about. They're not hard, right? Although I made them look a little harder that first video. I also might add a little book corners, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a work in progress, but you get the idea. And you can make something like this your own. Make it your own. Make it how you want it. And it doesn't have to be a travel journal. It can be anything. It can be a nice little journal to throw in your bag. I also will upload soon another video using a brown lunch bag, and I fold it into three folds. And I use those as mini journals in my purse too, or also when traveling. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a good rest of your day or evening, and I'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.